Hello, so for today's video, this is going to be Jace Encounter, and it's actually going to be a game where I play Karma. Now, this was done, I think, like around a week ago. This was like either the day after the patch or like 1 or 2 days after the new patch, so it was a little bit ago. But Karma obviously isn't the strongest unit right now. She's actually, like, from most people's perspective, pretty dog shit, right? Obviously. I'm not trying to make it seem like she is good via the means of this video, but I just want to show how there's some interesting interaction, especially if you get certain conditions for it. As you can probably tell from the thumbnail, if we skip to the augment selection, you're going to see that I'm going to rip an Ornn artifact here, and I'm going to hit Manazane. Let me just look at the options. So Ornn artifacts are extremely strong right now, just because there are still a lot of them that are quote unquote wins. Manazane is one of the big ones. It doesn't matter what you're playing, Manazane is going to be a really good option. AD, AP, most units love Manazane. It's probably going to get nerfed pretty severely next patch because it's been too many patches that it's been really strong and they're trying to like slowly deal with it step by step. So a lot of times it's probably just going to get axed or something. But the idea is that with Manazane, you just get an infinite amount of mana, so no matter what unit you're playing, they can chain cast and do really well. Obviously, the first choice is going to usually be a Yuumi. Yuumi with Manazane scales up her ult really fast and does an insane amount of damage and then does amazing things. So obviously if you have a first choice, it's going to be to play Yuumi. Here I end up playing Karma because of the way the lobby kind of shakes out. Karma with Manazane is still good. I think Karma, obviously if you give her a situation where she can still get out multiple casts and pump out damage, she's going to be really strong. So Manazane with Karma, even in the stats, it's still really good. It's really good on her. It's just that Karma, the whole Sork board, is a little bit weak in general. Now, with Sorks, if you can make it to like Gwen 2 and fully capped board like Gwen 2, Braum 2, level 9, it obviously will still keep up even in the current landscape of the game. It's just the problem of getting there. Right, the journey to level 9 is a lot harder because Karma got nerfed so much that she's not super stable on that level 8 anymore. Manazane bridges that gap. If I have Manazane on a Karma 2 and I'm uncontested with Karma, the Karma is going to chain cast her ults to a point where she's going to do enough damage. And if she does enough damage to kill the first unit, then the Sork procs are going to do the rest, and then we're fine. We start the engine going. So that's all we really need. Here, I'm trying to make my board as strong as possible because basically my anomaly, I took Heart of Gold, which is just to generate me Econ. The Econ allows me to maybe play something, to maybe force whatever I want to play. More Econ is always going to be better. And I slammed the JG instantly because it's flexible. Similar to how you would play last patch, like, you know, several weeks ago, you usually can make a JG and then decide if you're playing Sorks or Yuumi. In this case, I'm going to decide if I'm playing Sorks or Yuumi based on what I hit and how things go down later. So obviously, I'm making a strong front line, Heart of Gold to generate gold. With the Manazane Syndra, I should be able to pump out enough damage to be able to win. And then I'm playing Gnar just for the Luchador synergy to help out with the front line a little bit. We could skip ahead a little bit here because the game's going to get pretty wacky, and there's also a lot of stuff I want to talk about towards the end of the game. But as you can see, I'm basically just playing, you know, I played the Lux to get some shreds so that my damage is a little bit optimized because I'm trying to win streak. We can see if you scout out, there's multiple players that are playing around AP lines that are either going to be playing Yuumi or maybe like a Star Guardian. So, you know, obviously Karma is going to be uncontested, so I always have that in my back pocket. But ideally, I would like to play Yuumi if I have the opportunity to play Yuumi in this particular case. But either way, we're going to try and full win streak here, if possible. And we end up doing so, which is great for us. Have a decent econ, decent start. This is what makes these Ornn artifacts really good as well. When you have a good Ornn artifact that is flexible early, it allows you to usually be really strong early because basically you have a more powerful item than everybody else that you can just use to win streak a lot of the time. The Ornn artifacts that have very particular units that are good on are a little bit more awkward to play around. Something like Manazane, look, I have it on Syndra. Obviously, it's going to be good on Syndra. It's going to be good on Lucian. It's going to be good on any AP unit early because they just get to cast their ult 100 times and just win the fight. These Ornn artifacts are the ones that really help you to streak. Obviously, if you take like an Ornn artifact that's like very particular, like, oh, this is good on Twisted Fate, it's like, well, that's great because it's like it's shit on everybody else, right? If you take a Static Shiv, for example, it's like, who the hell is going to hold on to Static Shiv up until I get to Twisted Fate? Nobody, exactly. So I'm just playing down a gold augment until I hit Twisted Fate. You know what I mean? It's like, what are we doing here? But Manazane, that's what's great about it, is that it also applies, it also works well with pretty much every unit leading up to the final board that you want to play, which allows you to be in these very powerful situations. Here I'm deciding whether or not I want to have Shred with the Lux, Prodigy with the Malzahar, or if I just want to play a board like this. I kind of like this setup because I get the extra front line with the Galio from Mighty Mech. But I'm just trying to shuffle around my units while making econ. Obviously, I pushed to level 6 here because I'm trying to keep my win streak. When you're winning, you want to continue to win, ideally. And I'm trying to make like a mixture of frontline items and backline items. I made anti-heal. The Lux applies some Shred early game. So I have some Shred for these first couple of rounds. And then I'm looking to make anti-heal to try and optimize my damage, make all my utility, and try and win streak. Obviously, I lose here. This guy's just a little bit too strong with the Ari and the Swain. I could have maybe won this if I had better positioning, or if I had like a what's her name, 2-starred, Syndra 2-star, but it's all right. We'll just send it. Here I'm looking for whatever I can find. Radiant Refractor here, I'm kind of curious or interested about. I have Manazane. So Radiant Refractor, I can easily just spike my board pretty heavily by making a Radiant Jewel Gauntlet. It's not necessarily the greatest Radiant item. I think like I would rather have like a Radiant Void Staff in a lot of cases. Blazing Soul is also good here, by the way. Blazing Soul would be great if I was playing around Yuumi, because you just get the base ability power and the attack speed. The only reason I didn't take Blazing Soul is because I wanted to keep Karma open. At the time of this video, was pretty, like, you know, right now, if I was trying to climb really aggressively, I probably wouldn't even try to play Karma. I would just hard force Yuumi, because at the time, I wasn't sure how broken Yuumi was with the Manazane, so I was flexing Karma and the Yuumi. Right now, she's so broken that a lot of times, if you have Manazane Yuumi 1, you'll be able to beat other people's Yuumi's boards if they have a Yuumi 2. So it's just a matter of finding one copy of Yuumi because of how strong it is. So, you know, having known that, it was probably Blazing Soul is the correct decision here, and I should have just, like, forced Yuumi because I have a really good spot. Blazing Soul plus the Manazane, it's like, hello? Like, my Yuumi's gonna hit like a truck. Instead, I take Radiant Refractor just because the component anvil is great. I can make another item, but additionally, I can just instantly make Radiant JG. Radiant JG is really good. So part of it is that it gives you 100% crit, right? Units base have 25 crits, and then it gives 75 crit, so then you're at 100 crit with just the item alone, and it also gives a large chunk of AP, which is pretty good on AP units in general. So here, I'm kind of down to take the Radiant Jewel Gauntlet. It also makes me stronger right now, more so than some of the other augments. So I want to, like, even though I lost my win streak, I still want to win a lot of these rounds because it's going to be a little bit of a shaky closing to the game. Obviously, I'm going to lose a couple, but I'm trying my best to do as well as I can. Oh, did I mess up my Radiant item that round? No, I didn't. No real excuse to lose there. But either way, I have Heart of Gold, so winning the rounds also generates me the income. As you can see, because I got a lot of Heart of Gold procs on stage 2, I'm already in a good spot where I have a really high amount of HP and econ, right? I'm already level 7 without having to take an econ augment already. Look at this guy. He's level 7, 20 gold. He sent it. He literally sent it looking for Kog'Maw, and he didn't hit Kog'Maw 2. So if I can win this round, it would be such a devastating loss, but of course we're not going to win this round, so it's going to be a little bit awkward. But anyways, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. I think in this game, what solidifies my decision is that I high roll into a Karma at one point. I just don't know when. Oh, I think it's this right here. So there was a Prismatic Orb drop this game. So this part is where the game kind of goes off the rails. This Prismatic Orb drop is kind of not necessarily good for me because I was already in a really good spot, in my opinion, in terms of gold and items. Now it just gave a bunch of gold and items to everybody else, which really bails out a lot of the players. Because obviously if I'm prioritizing, like, you know, I was just talking about how I made really good econ because I had a really good opener and a really good early game. It now kind of mitigates that because a lot of people are going to have enough gold to hit their boards, and I won't be able to tempo aggressively and, like, delete everybody as easily because the Prismatic Orb usually just drops an infinite amount of gold. So here, I had Blightening Jewel. That's the other Karma item. Now, I don't think I had any other option is my problem here, Because if you look at my Ornn artifacts, they're all dog shit. Now, obviously, I had Blightening Jewel. Blightening Jewel, you probably look at it and you're like, it's insane on Karma. Because Blightening Jewel works with damage over time. It's one of Karma's best items. She's one of the 2 main Karma holders. Either Blightening Jewel on Karma or Blightening Jewel on Malzahar. Now, Blightening Jewel still allows me to play flexibly between Karma and Malzahar. Like, I can just put the other Ornn artifact on the Malzahar, and then I have two carries similarly as I would without that setup, right? So it's not that bad, but of course, you know, we'll see. I'm kind of more leaning towards Karma at this point because I have my 3 items already. And then I think in terms of this setup, I just take something. I hit Jarvan. I think on my roll down, I don't see Yuumi, and I see Jarvan too, and I hit a Karma, right? I skipped the roll down a little bit, but I pretty much didn't see any Yuumis, and I hit Jarvan 2 instantly, so I just committed to Karma. Like I said before, though, obviously I think the better line would be to play more towards the Battle Academia, but here I was kind of leaning more towards this because a lot of the lobby was already playing Yuumi, and I figured that I would be able to high roll into the Karma instantly. The problem is that I think Blightening Jewel and Manazane is a little bit overkill. Part of the power of Blightening Jewel is not only the magic resist that it does, but also the fact that it generates mana at one point. So the amount of mana that you get from Blightening Jewel is probably going to be like, you know, it's not as good with the Manazane is what I would say. Also, I didn't sign my Blightening Jewel. The thing that's great about Blightening Jewel, though, is that I don't have Shred, like proper Shred, so this applies a lot of that. But as you can see, we'll watch some of these fights, and you're going to see how strong this Karma is. Because this is a Karma 1. I might roll a little bit more for the Karma 2. We can see all the Battle Academia players. See, everybody's playing Battle Academia, and they're all not hitting. I'm Karma pair. I just instantly hit the Karma 2. If you watch this unit, obviously I have Blightening Jewel as well, so it's a little bit disingenuous. It's Radiant Jewel, Gauntlet, Blightening Jewel, and Manazane, so it's going to look a little bit insane. But you have to understand that the other people's boards also are compensated by Radiant items and Ornn artifacts, so it should be on par with, like, you know, if we tone it down a little bit as well. Look at this. This is Radiant Stone Plate Colossal Udyr. Do you want to see how fast the Colossal Udyr dies? Ready? 1 cast, 2 cast. Yeah. And I still have room to spare for another cast and 1 more cast. That's the thing with the Karma, right? As soon as you get 1 sword kill, everything collapses. The problem with Karma right now is, like, you know, some people will say that she's okay. She's not okay. She's pretty bad right now. The problem with the Sork board is that you still need to get the first kill, and because they mitigate her damage so much, getting that first kill is really hard. And there's a lot of really tough front lines to chew through. Leona 2, Udyr, Colossal Udyr, Cassante, even some of the other boards, like the Rise board, where they just have like infinite frontline units. A lot of times it's hard to like chew through some of those units with the Karma, so she's really not in a spot where you really should ever play her. But the thing is, with Manazane, she gets out so many ults so fast that you basically are good to go, right? Those ults just pump so much damage that a lot of times you're able to kill the front line. And that's what makes it okay. That's why with a Manazane, she still functions as a unit. She still exists and works properly. Obviously, the same thing applies to every unit, because if you put Manazane on Yuumi, she's obviously going to pop off and do nasty stuff as well. But here, this is like an idea with being uncontested that's really great. Because I'm completely uncontested here, I have Jarvan 2 and the Karma 2, and everybody's contesting, holding on to Yuumi's, trying to play Battle Academia. I put myself in a really good spot here to just easily spike, and this is tempo, right? I might not win this game because I'm not playing Yuumi, right? But I will definitely top 4 this game because I'm not playing Yuumi. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Right now, I'm not like I said, I'm not the biggest believer in always doing this. Obviously, like, you know, it's very patch dependent, but look at this. It doesn't matter what the people's boards are. This guy has Malphite 3. I have a Karma. Doesn't matter. Good night, right? Good night. This guy, but the problem is this guy found a TF on level 6 because he got it off carousel. He's level 6, 0 gold, no Ziggs 3, and a TF. This guy should be dead. But the problem is, the rest of my lobby, this always happens, and I'm just going to criticize for once, and then I won't say it again. These Masters players, they're like playing on tilt. Like, what am I looking at? Like this, look at this guy's spot. This guy wins 100% of the time if the lobby lets him win. Wait, look at him. He has Malphite 3, Shen 3, Sivir 3. Sure. He has a TF already, which is fine. He got that off carousel. He's level 6, and he has all his items are on a Ziggs 2. They're really good items. He has Radiant Guinsoo, flicker blades, and snipers, which you got both these Orn artifacts, which are pretty much the best ones you can get on Ziggs, from the prismatic orb. This is what I was saying, that the prismatic orb really helped other people, didn't help me, because like the blinding jewel doesn't matter that much on my karma, right? Obviously it helps me because it gives me shred, but I already have the Manazane on the karma, right? The blinding jewel, what makes it really broken is it helps the karma to cast a bunch, because when you reduce the magic to 0, then it makes them really strong. Now the problem with this is that I know this guy's gonna win this game, right? And it's gonna be really hard for me to go first, because this guy, like nobody, like, I don't know what to, like the lobby isn't gonna punish him, right? Like, if I look at the other people's boards, like, I don't know how to scout it. There's a person with like 1 item on Ashe, you know what I mean? Like, look, do you think this guy's gonna kill the Ziggs? It's like, what are we doing here? We have a radiant item on and a power up on a gangplank. Like, what is going on? But like, this is what happens a lot. I think it's just people playing on tilt, right? The people are tilted, so they're just like forcing towards a comp, and they're not playing a comp from a good spot. It's really important to play a comp from a good spot, having good items for the comp, and only then deciding to play around the comp. Because if not, you're just allowing other people to win for free. And it happens a lot when people get really tilted and they just like force towards something without necessarily having a good spot for it. So it's really important to just like be competent when you're playing, right? Even if you are like, you know, good at the game, which all these players are obviously really good at the game, don't let like a bad game make you do bad decisions, you know what I mean? But anyways, check this out, by the way. Isn't that crazy? Who said Karma was shit? No, I'm joking. She is pretty shit. But look at this. Yuumi, Manazane, really good items. But he doesn't have crit. Archangels usually isn't good on this Yuumi. But if he had Jewel Gauntlet, I'd probably lose this. But he has Cassante too as a front line. Leona. Everything pretty much upgraded, more or less. I still end up winning this fight. Obviously, you know, this guy's greeding a little bit. He's invested, trying to go level 9. Relatively strong. But my items are really good, right? I have anti-heal. I have shred. I almost narrowly lose to this Cassante, but we just clutch up, which is great. But this is what I was saying, right? If you have Manazane, that's Manazane Yuumi, by the way. That guy probably beats everybody in the lobby easily with Manazane Yuumi. It's broken. But that's why I didn't want to contest into Yuumi, right? This guy's invested, playing around Yuumi, holding an extra Yuumi on bench, right? If I was trying to play around Yuumi, I wouldn't have any Yuumis. So playing around Karma here, it's important to know some of these niche lines. Not to play all the time, right? I'm not saying play this every single game. What I'm saying is, in this game, that's why it worked out this way. So it's going to be funny. It's going to look silly. But it is what it is. The problem that I have is that there's one Yuumi player that I know is shit. Like, it has a shit board because that guy's holding the extra Yuumis. There's the Kog'Maw guy that I know is not going to win out. And then I'm pretty sure that the Ziggs, the guy who's playing Crew, even though he's level 6, like 0 gold, he has hefty rolls, which means that he's going to eventually outscale because all his units are going to have HP. He has the TF already, which has been like 3 or 4 rounds. So by the time I fight him again, he's going to have TF like in for 10 rounds. And he's probably going to win out, right? So it's down to the lobby to punish that guy, which, you know, I don't think is going to happen. So we just know that we're on a clock gear. If the game lasts long enough, we lose. Basically, that's it. We have double radiant item Yuumi here, but it's a Yuumi 1, so we don't mind because we should be able to win out here. He also has Story of 7, which I don't think he got the second Story of 7 cash out, or maybe he did, I'm not sure, because there was a prismatic orb drop, so it's hard to tell. But if you look at all these fights, this is why, this is how Sorks behaves when you get the first kill, right? If you get the kill, it just cascades and the whole comp falls like a house of cards. So we're just going straight to 9, right? We're decently strong. We have all our upgrades. We're going to go level 9. To keep up with tempo, we're going to try and find our Gwen. I just instantly level here. The main reason I'm leveling is just to make sure that I pressure the lobby. I'm trying to kill off as many people as possible because I know that I'm going to get outcapped. The problem with Sorks, obviously, like, Manazane Karma used to be like a win condition, but I know that, for example, if I fight this Ashe player and this Ashe player gets a 3rd item on Ashe, there's a chance that I don't beat him, right? Radiant Stone Plate, if the Ashe ramps up enough, even with this Manazane, I might not be able to beat this guy, right? So I want to level, I want to make my board as strong as possible to give myself the best chance of winning, right? This is a clone fight, by the way. If this wasn't a clone fight, there's a good chance that I might lose this fight, right? I want to make sure that I win these, because my whole thing is that I'm on a timer, right? There is the crew guy that if he hits, I probably lose, right? Because he has the TF, he just has to hit Ziggs 3. If you look at the side of the screen, Ziggs 3, right? The game's over now. Already now, this guy hitting Ziggs 3, the chances of me winning are very slim. So I need to make sure that before anybody spikes their board, I'm killing off everybody in the lobby and guarantee my second place. Now, I know that sounds a little bit of an exaggeration, but it just is what it is. It's just really hard when there is, what's it called? When there is a crew player. I'm also rolling a lot here. The reason I'm rolling is also for Braum. If I can get the extra lives, there's a chance that maybe I can hit some sort of win condition. So I'm rolling pretty aggressively here to try and find Braum to replace the Leona so I can start getting Braum stacks in. That's pretty much it. Star Guardian, obviously. This guy, like, his board was so shit a turn or two ago, he should have lost the game by now. But the problem is he's also permanently scaling. He's permanently scaling his whole board in terms of HP, and he's also permanently scaling based on this Twisted Fate. Right, he's just giving the crew bonuses. He's getting extra items. He's getting extra components. I'm still gonna be stronger than him. That's why I leveled as well. Right, if you watch me fight this guy, he doesn't have that many strategist ins for the Ziggs, so I should still be able to clear him, but just barely. Right, just barely cleared him. But that's the idea, right? Leveling here, you can call this a Gwen diff. You can call this anything. Right, it's just making sure that you chew off the HP earlier rather than later, right? When people have scaling and they have win conditions, you play aggressively. You don't sit there and mope. You don't sit there and jerk off. You don't sit there and do nothing. If you look around and you see somebody that has a scaling comp that they're going to outcap you, you fucking level and you aggressively make sure that they're deleted before they scale. You don't give them a chance to scale, right? That's like a fundamental aspect of playing the game, right? You don't give them the chance to breathe. All these players, you don't let them get a third item. If that guy played Ashe and he has 1 item on Ashe, I want him dead before he has 3 items on Ashe. I'm not going to sit here and let him get 3 items on Ashe. If I have a chance to make myself even a 1% stronger 1 turn, I'm going to do it because there's a chance that I don't win out this game. Right? Now, obviously, this changes if I have a win-out style comp. Let's say I have a scaling comp. Then, obviously, I want to greed because I want to give myself the chance to win out, right? But if I have a comp like this, you know, it's a little bit awkward. Here, also, I wasn't sure if I should take Void Staff. I remember Void Staff used to be good on, like, with Blightening Jewel because you get the Blightening Jewel proc to happen faster, right? Like, they hit 0 earlier, so you get the mana earlier from the secondary effect of Blightening Jewel. And then here, obviously, I'm Gwen paired, so I'm rolling for Gwen too. I can sell Lee Sin. I'm trying to figure out if I should put Void Staff on the Gwen, like relative to another item, or if I should put Void Staff on somebody else. It's probably Void Staff Gwen. Maybe. I guess I decided not to. I'll just put on somebody else. I still have a fruit on Jarvan. I should move the fruit from Jarvan onto Gwen. So this is a little bit of a mistake. And then I'm itemizing the Lux. Lux does a lot of damage in these late game fights, so it's important to do that as well. Pay attention to that. Now, there is one other thing that I should mention of a synergy that I don't really consider at the time. When I'm playing the game, the problem with fruits is that there's a lot of bad fruits for all the units. So with Karma, with Blightening Jewel, you typically like to have the Shadow Clone, right? Or the one where she casts twice, but usually Shadow Clone. Because Shadow Clone, the clone will still proc the Blightening Jewel effect of reducing the armor, which will make them have the mana generation effect of Blightening Jewel earlier. Now, I have Efficient, which Efficient is really good because I basically get my ults off faster, and with the Manazane, you can basically load up an extra ult, I think it works out to be, because you get 15 less on every single one, so that's 60 total mana less, so then the, like 60 total mana less that you save from Efficient. The Manazane gives you 120. That adds up to like an extra ult. You know what I mean? Right? If I cast in 55, whatever, math. You know what I mean? I'm trying to explain it, but it hopefully made sense. Right? But the main principle here is that there is a better fruit. But I'm not really considering it because Efficient is good enough. Now, obviously, I think Shadow Clone would be a little bit better if I'm trying to optimize, but I wouldn't necessarily go for that always. But as you can see, the Karma is keeping up. A lot of people, obviously, they all have Radiance. It's a prismatic game, so things are a little bit wacky. But Manazane Karma, the Blightening Jewel obviously helps a lot as well. But the items are really good in this spot, so I'm doing pretty well for myself. I'm full win streaking. This guy the crew guy is still alive, which sucks because at one point we're just gonna lose because TF is gonna start cashing out some bullshit. This is Yuumi. I don't know what happened to the Manazane Yuumi player, because this guy somehow made it out. Or maybe not. I'm probably going to kill him off here. And maybe the Manazane Yumi guys somewhere else. But this is fine. We have Braum 2. We're rolling on 9. We're just trying to, like, stabilize and do everything. I think that this game ends with me losing to the crew guy, if I'm not mistaken. This guy's rolling for Cassante, so I'm also rolling for Cassante. I'm trying to keep my win condition alive. But basically, the TF now is like 10 plus rounds old. There's pretty much no way we can win this anymore. Now, there are some optimization I can do. Watch, I'm going to fight the crew guy, and you're going to see what's going to happen. Right, the TF now is scaled to a point where there's so many extra items and there's so much extra shit, like in terms of extra damage on other units, extra tankiness on the tanks, and also hefty rolls has made it so that these units have just become so tanky. This Ziggs and this Sivir and all these backlines would have been dead by now, but it's just a crew. It's just crew with the rolls. They gain HP with that first augment, so it's just over. Right, and this is what I was saying before, right? If one other person in this lobby was, like, there was a lot of people that just didn't have, like, good spots for their comms, this guy should have been dead already, but, you know, I can't guarantee the first. Now, there are some other situations here. The Karma's having a hard time getting to the back line. I could have done Manazane, Radiant, Jewel, Gauntlet on the, what's it called? On the Gwen. Like, I can swap my Karma items and my Gwen items and then put Blightening Jewel on this and just like another item on Gwen, and maybe I can one-shot the backline and that would give me the win, or the Gwen could get 2 ults off, which can give me the win. But the problem is that during this game, I could also switch the fruit on the Karma. Like I was saying, Shadow Clone was probably a little bit better. The problem is that I'm getting Jarvan stunned, and I'm trying to not get Jarvan stunned, and I'm also trying to stun his backline with my Jarvan, because he's not really positioning against Jarvan, right? If you look at his front line, see, like, I'm getting Jarvan stunned here, right? But my Jarvan is not jumping to his backline, it's like jumping to his center, and I'm trying to, like, reposition the Jarvans. So basically, I spend, like, most of this time trying to, like, reposition the Jarvans, but I'm kind of already give up because it's kind of hopeless when this guy scales up enough. So, you know, it is what it is. So it ends up being a second. We had such a good Karma spot, but this is what I mean, right? Second with a Karma, you know, I just took my chances. If I was a Yuumi, maybe I can win out because the Yuumi's a little bit stronger at deleting the front line. Here I rearranged my items, but I rearranged them in a bad way. I was thinking, like, maybe if I get Void Staff on the back line, it might help the Gwen do some damage here. And then I was thinking, like, maybe Lux is a little bit better for burst damage because the Gwen takes some time. But I should have switched the Karma and the Gwen items. This fight was going good, in my opinion. I think my Jarvan got a good stun this fight, if I'm not mistaken. No, actually. Yeah, what happened here is that I think something happened with my Jarvan jumped the wrong way. My positioning is bad. Look, I tried to position anti-Jarvan. See, like, as you can see here. This is, like, anti-Jarvan. But then my Jarvan jumped towards this side of the board because there was more units. And then the Ziggs instantly targets my Karma. See, my Karma walked up because my Jarvan jumped away. And then Braum threw the Malphite into this corner, which is just bad. If he threw him like not into the corner, then my Karma would still be targeting the Malphite because my Karma had to target the Shen. My fucking Karma walks up, and now she's getting targeted by the Ziggs, so I just lose this fight instantly. But the chances of me winning are basically 0. Hefty rolls with the crew bonuses and everybody upgraded and a TF that has been scaling for over 12 turns. It's just too much to deal with. So we lose this game at the end. Now, like I said, there are some things I could have done better. I could have switched my fruits around because obviously if I'm going to lose the game, I can try and switch the fruits. And obviously I could have done some other optimizations in terms of positioning. And maybe it would have been a first. But, you know, it is what it is. I beat this guy every round that I fought him until he outscaled me. And then he also types to me at the end, which is just so fucking toxic. Because it's like he barely wins the game, and then he's like, LOL, you trash. It's like, okay, like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? But anyways, hopefully that was a fun game. I want to show a Karma game because I think a lot of times like I talk about Karma and I'm like, you know, she's pretty bad, but she's playable in certain spots. This is what I mean by, you know, the quote unquote certain spots. If you have certain enablers and good spots for stuff, especially with an uncontested line, this is not something you can do all the time, by the way. This is like specifically if you saw I hit that Karma instantly because the whole lobby was playing around 4 costs and multiple people were contesting each other. So I looked at that and I said, if I can hit this Karma early, it's good. And obviously, when I rolled down, I said, if I had Yuumi, I'll play Yuumi. If I had Karma, I'll play Karma. I hit 0 Yuumis. I hit 0 Leonas. I hit 3 Jarvans and a Karma. So I just played towards the mech Karma line. It still, like, it sucks. It's shit, I know. But this is how you play niche lines. You play niche lines from good spots where you hit early. If you don't, and you don't keep it as your main game plan, you keep it as an option that is open. This is a part where people get really confused and people like don't like use this properly, which is what I want to explain in the video, right? You don't choose to play a niche line because it's uncontested, because if I played this from a bad spot, I wouldn't hit any Karmas. I played this from having a lot of econ. I played this from a really strong opener. I played it from having an HP lead. And then when I rolled down, I was rolling down flexibly. You have to believe me on it. I said, if I hit one, I'll hit one. If I hit the other, I hit the other. I didn't hold on to any Garens, which was maybe a mistake this game, or Ezreal's, which I should have held on to just in case because I was contested. But for the most part, it was going to be like a 3-way contest for Yuumi. So I kind of figured like the chances are I'm just playing Karma anyways because I have the spot for it. And then I hit my units. I hit them relatively fast. I win streak in my mid game, and then I put a lot of pressure on the lobby. When you make it to level 9, if I have Gwen 2, Braum 2, it doesn't matter that I'm playing Karma. Gwen 2, Braum 2, I'm at a point where I'm so far ahead of the lobby that I'm fighting like level 8 boards. Like I'm level 9 with an upgraded legendary and I'm fighting a level 8 board. It's like, it's going to be a very clear one-sided fight. And that doesn't, like this video, you don't go home and you say, Karma is broken. This guy said so. It's like, no, it's like, this is how you play niche lines in spots. You have to have a good spot for it. You have to have a good enabler for it. You have to have really good items for it. And you have to have like good augments to support it. And then if you hit on time, then it could all work out. Now, obviously, there was high rolls in this game. We'll talk, like, you know, Blightening Jewel and all of that, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, everybody kind of high rolled, right? Like, you know, you can look at my Blightening Jewel, and then you can look at that guy that has Flicker Blade snipers and TF on carousel. That, you know what I mean? It is what it is. But hopefully that was an enjoyable video. I tried to talk through some of the process and some of the stuff along the way. Obviously I'm doing this video after recording another video, so I'm a little bit winded and tired. But hopefully that was fun. Hopefully it was enjoyable. There'll be some more recent VODs coming soon. And of course I'm going to get back to playing TFT more faithfully once I beat Silksong. I'm trying to get through it as fast as possible, and then I'll probably do the 100%ing offline. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and see ya. Bye-bye.